with me for a minute.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, good day, everybody. Welcome to this webinar presentation. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Seneca's Honors Bachelor of Science Biotechnology degree and how you may be eligible as an Ontario College Diploma graduate to further your education and obtain this degree quicker. So first, just a little bit about the Academic Pathways team. We do work with students and provide a number of services for those who are interested in continuing their education after Seneca, whether that be a pathway to a program at our own institution or to another institution that we partner with. We help students by doing one-on-one advisement appointments where we can talk about your options in more detail, talk about application information and how you might be eligible for a particular pathway. We do team up with a lot of departments across the college to talk about who we are. So you might see some information going out about different information sessions, and we are on the schedule to talk about who we are and what we do. We also do a lot of information sessions with some of our partners. Often they come on campus and set up a table, and they're just there sitting in the hall at our campuses to talk to you as you're walking by so that you can learn about pathway opportunities at their institution. And then finally, we do larger pathway events like this one that we're hosting this week, where you can find out about pathway opportunities. Our institution offers pathway options into our own programs, as I said, as well as partner institutions. We are the #1 college in pathway transfers, and we are proud to have a multitude of partner institutions in the GTA, in Canada, and internationally. So before I go over today's agenda, I'm just going to introduce myself and our panelists today. My name is June, and I'm the Inbound Academic Pathways Coordinator in the Academic Pathways Office at Seneca. And with us today, we have Nicholas Rapp, who is the Program Coordinator of the Honors Bachelor of Science Biotechnology degree. So today we're going to chat a little bit about why you should consider choosing a degree at Seneca Polytechnic. We'll talk more about the BBTA degree and help you determine whether or not it's a good one for you. We'll go over the available pathways into this degree and talk a little bit about eligibility requirements as well as details about course exemptions. We're going to talk about a scholarship opportunity that's open to degree students who have completed a diploma program. And then finally, we'll give you some information about how you can apply to the pathway to the BBTA degree if you qualify. So just a little bit of information about the campus where BBTA is offered. It is offered at the Seneca at York campus, which is on the grounds of York University near the intersection of Steeles and Keele in Toronto. Program areas at this campus include biological sciences, applied chemistry, community services, creative arts and animation, information and communications technology, as well as media. So on this slide here, we've provided a link to the campus tours webpage. So if you aren't familiar with the Seneca York campus, you can do a virtual tour, but you can also book an in-person tour if that works better for you. So why should you consider a degree at Seneca Polytechnic? So #1, we offer specialized programs. Our degrees are career focused and aligned with current jobs in the labor market. Our professors and instructors are industry professionals who work in the field, bringing current knowledge to the classroom. Our class sizes are much smaller if you compare them to those at a university. Often you're sitting in a lecture hall with like 300 other students. You're just a face in the crowd. But the beauty of a smaller class is your professors know who you are. It's much easier to touch base with them and talk to them in more detail. And you're never just a number. All of our degree programs at Seneca have at least one mandatory work integrated learning term, which is a requirement prior to graduation. And obviously the importance of this is that you're going to have some work experience to add to your resume, which makes you an attractive candidate when you're out looking for a full-time position post-graduation. Our honors bachelor degree graduates are also eligible to apply to master's and graduate level studies, provided they meet all outlined admission requirements at the receiving institution. So our team hosts a master's and graduate studies expo every fall, where students have the opportunity to connect with some of the institutions that offer graduate studies programs, to learn about those programs, learn about eligibility requirements, and how you might apply and how you might be eligible as a graduate of a Seneca degree program. So now I'm just going to turn it over to Nick, who's going to provide some more details about the degree program.
Thank you very much, June. And hello, everyone. And just to reintroduce myself, my name is Nicholas Rapp. I am the program coordinator for the Honors Bachelor of Science Biotechnology, or BBTA degree program here at Seneca Polytechnic, excuse me. So really, I just want to do a bit of a brief overview and highlight of the program and some of the key features and why you might want to select it rather than an alternative degree option. So our goal with this program is to give you the same level of theoretical and background knowledge and, learning that you would get in a traditional degree program, but still really leverage all of the hands-on skills building that we get out of, our diploma programs. So with that, you're going to have an opportunity to spend a lot of time in the lab working and developing or further developing your hands-on laboratory skills if you're transferring in from a diploma program. And while, like I said, earning that bachelor degree credential, that honors bachelor degree credential. And further highlights, and I think June spoke to some of these already, would just be things like the fact that you get to really work very closely with your faculty throughout the program. I know for me, when I was in university and in my university programs, up until probably fourth year, I barely said a word to any of my professors. And it was really only at fourth year that the class sizes got small enough that I could maybe have an opportunity to actually talk to a professor directly. That's very much not the case here at Seneca Polytechnic in the BBTA degree. You're going to be working very closely with your professors with much smaller class sizes. As June said, you're not sitting in a room with 500, 1,000 people potentially. You're going to be maybe in a class of 30. And, that gives you I would say just a much nicer learning environment. And like I said, an opportunity to really actually interact and engage with your professors. And, with that, you get more opportunity to build a rapport with those professors. We're going to actually know who you are. I can pretty much tell you at the very least, the first names of pretty much everybody that's in the BBTA program currently. And like I said, I think that's a huge advantage in terms of things like networking, references, and leveraging those potential connections when you're searching for employment in the future once you've graduated. So that's I think a really huge highlight of the program. Another aspect of it that I'd really like to spend some time with is the capstone research projects that you guys will ultimately complete in your fourth year or the final year of the BBTA program. And so these would be original research projects that you're going to be working on, likely in a small team of your fellow students. And these original research projects would be faculty supervised. So, we're not just leaving you out, flapping in the wind. We're going to be there to help you and support you as you work through this research project. But as much as possible, we're going to set them up as industry partnered projects where you'd actually be working on a real world problem for an industry partner, let's say potentially an assay development or maybe a proof of concept type of experiment, so that you actually are returning something meaningful to an actual industry partner. And that's, I think a huge boon to your potential resume when you can say that I completed this project with these goals and these deliverables for this industry partner. And, like I said, that's I think a huge highlight of the program. And then, further to that, you get to do those capstone research projects out of our brand new, nice and shiny research laboratory, the Seneca Center for Innovation in Life Sciences, or the Skills Lab as we call it, which is just chock full of largely brand new and state-of-the-art equipment and opportunities to work with potentially like controlled substances as well as GMP products and level two type organisms, as there is a biosafety level two facility within that research laboratory as well. So, a really great highlight of the program as well that you would get to complete in your fourth year. And then the other thing that I would just, kind of highlight with respect to why you might want to pursue a degree program after completing your diploma program, and obviously, hopefully, you're selecting to do it here at Seneca Polytechnic with us in the BBTA program. But I think overall during the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, it really brought to light how much Canada had allowed our biomanufacturing and life sciences industries to lag a bit and lag in funding and support. And as a result of that, it's really kickstarted a lot of investment in these areas. And so we have both Canada's biomanufacturing and life sciences strategy, and then, an extension of that, there's also an Ontario uh, biomanufacturing and life sciences strategy. And both of those come with significant dollar investment in these sectors. From the federal government, $2.2 billion. From the Ontario government, just I believe in the last year, I'm trying to remember the exact number off the top of my head. I believe it was about $190 million. So a lot of influx of funds coming into this area to help build it up and kind of return back to being an industry leader within the life sciences community and biomanufacturing industry. And with all of that investment and all of that buildup, and we've had some huge facilities open up in Mississauga, a new biomanufacturing facility, and then another one that's a large AstraZeneca facility in Mississauga as well. But with all of those big new facilities, we need people to staff them. We need the talent, right? So I think that's a huge aspect of why you might want to pursue forward to your degree studies, which is just the industry demand for that industry-ready talent. And that's really our goal out of the BBTA program, is to make graduates that are industry ready, that can actually step directly into the industry and ready to work, because you already have the skills necessary to step right in, rather than these different industry partners potentially needing to spend significant time and investment in bringing you up to speed as a new graduate. So yeah, like I said, that's, I think, a huge aspect of just the fact that the demand is there, and we want to supply you guys as the talent that's going to fill that demand. And then, I mean, otherwise, I would just toot my own horn a little bit in terms of highlighting the fine faculty and staff that we have supporting this BBTA program in the School of Biological Sciences and Applied Chemistry. And so, the majority of our full-time faculty are industry professionals, and that goes for our contract faculty as well. These are individuals who spent time working in the industry, gaining that perspective and that lens of the industry environment and what the industry demands are, and with that lens, we can apply it to our teaching and how we prepare you and train you guys as students to help, like I said, set you up so that you can enter into the workforce more or less right away. And so that's supported by a group of full-time faculty, lots of contract faculty, lab technologists, that all have a broad range of expertise in things like cell biology, biochemistry, mammalian cell and tissue culture, microbiology, immunology, analytical instrumentation, etc. So all of these different areas that you'll be learning. And then the other, or one of the other big things that I would also like to highlight, and I think June mentioned it as well, that as part of the requirements for the degree credential for this BBTA degree, is you do have to complete a work integrated learning term. So it is a mandatory work term. I know some of you coming out of diploma programs, oftentimes it's either an optional work term, or in some cases, diploma programs may not even have a work term offering. But for this degree program, it's a mandatory work term. So that means everybody who is in the degree has to complete a will term in order to graduate. And so that is, again, I think a really great advantage of the program, and something that you may not necessarily see in a lot of university degree programs that you could potentially transfer to as well. And so for you guys as potential BBTA students, you go out on your work term after you finish your sixth semester. So I guess it would be the winter term of the third year of the program. And that summer is when you would start into your work term. And, to support your preparation for entering into that work term in the sixth semester, there is a work term prep course that's going to help get you set up with our will coordinator, Zara, who's going to do lots of preparation for you in terms of things like resume preparation, cover letter writing, mock interviews, and just to help ensure that you're able to secure a position. And she'll support you guys by finding lots of good job postings and posting them up through the Seneca Works portal so that you can apply for these potential positions at a variety of different industry partners so that you can, ultimately gain real world work experience that you can put on your resume even before you graduate. And so, I mean, I think that's a consistent problem that a lot of degree graduates run into is they come out of university and they're trying to get a job in the industry, but every job wants experience and they don't have any. And so I think, again, a huge advantage of you guys selecting the BBTA degree program is that with this will term, you'll be graduating with that degree credential while also having some work experience on your resume uh, right away. That's going to give you a big advantage in terms of when you're applying in the job market. And so I think I forgot to mention, but I'll just highlight this as well. The work term is a minimum of 8 months work term, but with the option to extend to a full 12-month work term. So you should have a good solid amount of experience, potentially as much as a year of work experience on that resume once you've graduated, in addition to those industry partnered capstone projects that you'll work on in your fourth year as well. Okay, so I can't really stress the benefits enough of the work integrated learning. Beyond the industry experience, you get, you're expanding your professional network, you're gaining references, you're the biotech community within Canada is large but small, if that makes sense, in that a lot of people know each other. And if you're working at one company and you know, had a really good experience there, but maybe they're not able to offer you, a permanent position following your graduation, they'll know a lot of people too. And if they really like you, they can refer you to some of their other colleagues that might be hiring. And so, again, I just can't stress enough the advantage of the work integrated learning component of the degree program. And then another great aspect that we have associated with the BBTA program, and it extends to our diploma programs as well, but very much for our degree students too, is applied research opportunities. And so these would be, again, industry partnered projects where that will be led by a faculty PI, oftentimes our very own applied research coordinator, Dr. Frank Morante. But we also have a dedicated skills PI by the name of Ryan Heyman, who are both excellent leaders and have a wealth of experience within the industry and have really produced a lot of very interesting and cool projects for a variety of industry partners. And so you do have the opportunity to apply for applied research opportunities as you're completing the program. And so while these aren't directly associated with your actual degree in terms of your studies or your degree credit, they are extra additional opportunities where they are paid work opportunities, working as a research assistant, where you're the ones doing the work, you're the ones producing the reports, you're the ones that are ultimately, reporting back to the industry partner in terms of your successes and results from the project that you're working on. And then I believe this is the last little bit for me, and then I'll sign it back over to June here. But the last thing that I would just highlight is some of the opportunities that you might have coming out of graduation from the BBTA program. And so, I mean, coming out of a biotech diploma program, a lot of the like entry level positions that you guys would be applying for would be fairly similar to what you would be applying for out of the degree in terms of like a research technician or research associate or potentially regulatory and quality control, uh, clinical research assistants, microbiological technicians or technologists, things like that. But where the degree I think really shines is, an unfortunate reality of the industry is individuals with the diploma level credential, while they are great candidates to hire, you do get a little bit hit with a ceiling in terms of how far you can advance. And whether or not that should be that way is a discussion for another day, but it is a reality of the industry. And having that degree credential will very much open up a much higher ceiling in terms of your abilities to advance within the industry and, kind of promote above those entry level type positions. And, as an extension of that, really, it also opens up the opportunity for graduate school studies where you could pursue a master's or PhD credential following the completion of your honors degree, which obviously is not an option for you after you've completed just with your diploma credential. And then the last thing I would also highlight in terms of post-graduation opportunities is the completion of the honors bachelor degree does also open up the opportunity, if you wanted to go down this road, of professional studies, like like a medical doctor or dentistry type school, veterinary studies, things like that. If that was a road that you wanted to potentially pursue, uh, having that honors bachelor's degree does open those opportunities to you too.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nick. That was great.
Thank
Really
you.
comprehensive view of the degree program, which is amazing. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the pathways into this Honors Bachelor of Science Biotechnology degree. So there are two Ontario College Diploma programs that are eligible for pathway into an upper semester of the BBTA degree. So this is open to students who graduate from a two-year biotechnology diploma with a minimum GPA of 70% or 3.0 are eligible to enter semester 3 of the degree in the fall term. And then students who graduate from a three-year biotechnology advanced diploma, so at Seneca, that would be the BTA advanced diploma, with a minimum GPA of 70% or 3.0 are eligible to enter semester 5 of the degree also in the fall term. So the chart on this slide also shows you the number of credits you'd be awarded based on your incoming credential, the semester entry option, so in this case it would be fall, and then the number of courses remaining and the number of academic semesters remaining to complete those courses. So as we've mentioned a few times throughout this presentation, of course, you will have 1 8-month work integrated learning term in addition to your core requirements to graduate. And then, as Nick had mentioned, there is the opportunity to extend that 8-month term to a 12-month work term as well. So just a couple of helpful resources I wanted to highlight here. And we've got QR codes on the screen that will direct you to either one. So first is our inbound transfer guide. So this is where we house all of our pathways from a Seneca diploma or an external Ontario College diploma into degree programs at Seneca. So that's where you'll be able to search your program to see what pathway opportunities are available at Seneca. You'll be able to see how much credit, how long it will take you to finish a credential, information about how to apply. And then on top of that, there are also a couple of PDF documents for the diploma to degree pathways that are really important. So the first one is called a block map. So for BBTA, the block map would show you the full curriculum for the degree, and then whether you're coming from the 2-year biotechnology diploma or the 3-year biotechnology advanced diploma, you'll see the courses that you would receive credit for. So those would be the courses highlighted in yellow. So you wouldn't be exempt from those courses. And then the second PDF is called a completion plan. So that will take the remaining courses that you'll have left to complete, in addition to your work integrated learning term, and it will put it into a plan that you can follow from semester to semester. So the importance of this is that degree level courses are not available every semester, and they often have prerequisites attached to the next level course. So if you were to miss a particular course that you needed to take, let's say it was only offered in the fall, you would have to wait potentially until the next fall to take it. And if it's a prerequisite for the next level course, it's really just going to kind of throw you off track. So those are really important documents to get a hold of if you do pursue the BBTA degree. So it takes the guesswork out for you. So you know exactly what courses you need to take each term to finish the credential as quickly as possible. And then the second resource is our virtual pathways advisement booking system. So like I said at the beginning of this presentation, our team does one-on-one virtual advisement with students a few times a week. So if you wanted to reach out to myself or another member of our team through that booking system, you would just have to make a account. You can use your Seneca email address or your personal email address, whichever you prefer. Then you'll be able to see our availability and you can select a date and time that works for your schedule. So if you have questions that you don't get to ask today, something that you think about later and you wanted to reach out, definitely do so through that booking system. Okay, so there is a scholarship I mentioned at the beginning that we would chat about. It's called the Diploma to Degree Scholarship, and it grants a one-time monetary award of $2,500 to graduates of a Canadian diploma who have an incoming GPA of at least 75% or 3.3. The award's also open to international students who have completed a Canadian diploma. So if you are eligible and you meet those GPA requirements based on your diploma and you're in a Seneca degree, you would be eligible to apply through your student home account once you're enrolled in the degree full time. So if you've got questions about this scholarship, or if you just don't understand and need help with the application process and you want to talk to somebody who can walk you through it, definitely reach out to a financial aid advisor through the Service Hub, and we've got their email address on the screen there. But if you find that maybe you don't meet the GPA requirement for this particular scholarship, there are a lot of other bursary options and award options that you might want to pursue. Not all of them are going to have a GPA requirement that's attached to them. So definitely take a look at the Financial Aid Office webpage to see a list of those bursaries and awards, because there's definitely things you could apply for to get some money to help you through your studies. So if you're interested and eligible for the pathway to the BBTA degree, this is how you would apply. So if you're a current Seneca student or a graduate within the last year, you would need to complete and submit the Diploma to Seneca Degree Pathways Transfer form to the Service Hub, and it would be directed to our admissions team for processing. So there's a picture of the form on the screen here, so you can get an idea of what it looks like. There's no fee to submit this application, and then you also don't need to worry about submitting your transcript because you're a Seneca student, so admissions will be able to access that for you. But if you've been away from from Seneca after you've graduated for more than a year after you graduate, then you would be required to reapply at that time, and then that's when you would have to pay the application fee that's required. Again, though, in this case, if you're a Seneca grad, you wouldn't have to worry about your transcript because it's accessible here by admissions. So if you're a domestic student who's been away for more than a year, you would need to reapply on OCAS, which is ontariocolleges.ca, making sure to select degree completion as your entry semester when you apply. If you're an international applicant who's been away for more than a year, you would apply using Seneca's international online application found on Seneca's website, and then follow up with your admissions advisor through the Service Hub to inform them of your pathway eligibility. In terms of deadlines for applying, there's no hard deadline to apply to a program at Seneca. As long as there's still space in the program, admissions will admit you up until 4 days after classes start. However, we always suggest applying as early as you can. That way, you've got your admission, you've paid your deposit, and then by the time course enrollment starts, you're ready to get going and build your timetable for the coming semester. So if you're a current Seneca student in BTA, I would suggest applying when you enter your final semester, as long as you're sitting at that 3.0 for a conditional acceptance. The conditions being that by the time classes start in the fall, you will have officially graduated from BTA with that minimum 3.0 GPA. If you're a student from another Ontario college who has completed or is completing one of the eligible diploma programs, you would apply through OCAS or ontariocolleges.ca if you're a domestic student, making sure again to select degree completion as your entry semester. And then international students would apply using the international online application found on Seneca's webpage, following up with their admissions advisor through the Service Hub once they've submitted their application. In this case, for students who are coming from another Ontario college, you would also have to submit a copy of your official transcript with your application from your home institution. So that brings us to the end of this presentation. So if you wanted to reach out to myself or another member of my team, you can definitely do so by number one, making an appointment. But if you don't want to wait for an appointment, or if our appointments are full, which sometimes does happen, you can always just reach out to us by phone or by email. We're super responsive. We'll probably get back to you that day if you email us. So that's another way to reach out to us if you've got a quick question that you had. And then if you've got questions about the BBTA degree, you've got questions about courses or the work term or anything really program specific, we've got Nicholas's phone number and his email address, and I'm sure he'd be happy to assist you. And we also suggest that people follow us on social media. The Seneca Pathways is our handle for Instagram and for X. This is where we post information about pathway events that you might be interested in. So if you want to stay on top of what's happening in our department, you can follow us there. So thank you very much for attending. At this point, we want to open it up to our attendees. If you've got questions, you can either put them in the chat, or if you want, you can put your hand, like raise your hand and I can unmute you and you can ask your question that way as well. So the floor is yours. And I can also flip back to any of the slides if you want me to do that as well. That's not a problem. So now we wait, see if anybody's got any questions. Maybe I'll just start with one. Nick, did you want to just sort of explain how a student would opt to do like a full year will term? Is that something that they choose to do, or is that more coming from the employer?
So that's a good question. Ultimately it would mostly come from the employer, or most often
Okay.
come from the employer, where they are either hiring you outright from the start for a 12-month position,
Hmm.
or they've brought you in for 4 or 8 months and really like you and say, I would like to keep you for longer.
Okay.
So the way that it's set up is following the completion of the first 8 months of the will. After that is a scheduled break. So if you want to extend to 12 months, it's no big deal. It doesn't affect your study time at all. It doesn't affect you missing a semester. You would just continue working in your will position through that scheduled break.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. So one thing I'll just touch on, it's sometimes a question that we get, not so much in these sessions that we're doing, but mostly by phone and by email, is we often hear from students who have either recently graduated from their diploma or they're, in their final semester and they don't think that they're gonna hit that 3.0 GPA, or they didn't hit that 3.0 GPA upon graduation, and they're wondering if they could still be admitted to the pathway. So the minimum of a 3.0 or a 70% is a hard minimum, but sometimes students are able to actually re-enroll in some diploma courses to bump up their GPA. So either you're sort of putting off graduating for a little bit, maybe another semester, to do a couple courses to bump up your GPA before you graduate. Or if you have already graduated, you're coming back to take a couple courses. Your graduating GPA in that case, which you would see on your transcript, would never change. But your program GPA, which is a GPA that you would find toward the end of your transcript, that would change pending you do better in the retaken courses. So the system would sort of drop the lower grade and calculate in the newer grade or the better grade. So that's what our admissions team would then look to if you were in that situation. So it might be possible. So if you feel like you're not going to hit that 3.0 just before graduation, it doesn't hurt to reach out to your student advisor right now for your diploma. Make an appointment to chat with them about potentially sticking around a bit longer to redo some courses, and they can help you go through that process. And I've got a question here. Just let me unmute you. Okay, so I've allowed the mic, so you should be able to unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. I just have a question about the will program, if possible. So let's say, because I'm in my third semester for BTA, and if I opt for like the bachelor degree program, would what if I let's say I had issues with the will, would that follow in afterwards, or do I like start fresh? So, for example, if I took one semester part time in my diploma, because I know for a will program, if you take a part time semester, then you cannot really, you do not get accepted.
To the best of my knowledge, it would not affect it because the will requirement is a requirement of the degree. So it as long as you're enrolled as a BBTA student within the program, there should be no negative impact on your on completing your will.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay, well, I haven't seen any other questions come in. So hopefully that means everybody got what they needed out of the session, which is what we like to hear for sure. But again, there will be a recording of this. It's recording right now. So we're going to be putting all of the recordings from all the sessions this week on the event page where you would have registered for this event. And we'll be sending an email out to everybody to let them know where they can get copies of the recording. So if you wanted to watch those again. But again, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you found this informative. And thank you very much, Nicholas, for providing such a good overview of the BTA or BBTA degree. Hopefully it piques some people's interest and that we'll see those faces in the degree program soon. So thank you very much for showing your support, Nick. We always appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, June.
Of course. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and hopefully you've all been able to dig out of the snow before the next round comes this weekend. And happy Valentine's Day as well to everybody tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye for now.